Millions of people died as a result of the Second Sudanese Civil War, which lasted from 1983 to 2005. Orphaned and displaced children fled their homes and began searching for a new place to live. On this journey, which for some lasted years, they faced death by starvation, dehydration, disease, attacks from lions, and enemy gunfire. The fortunate few found their way to a Kenyan refugee camp, where they became known as the Lost Boys. They survived on one small meal a day. Many of them started running to shut out the hunger and hopelessness. One of them, Lopez Lomong, also ran to forget. In time, he would run to chase a dream.
Hi Lopez, how are you doing today?
Great, how you doing?
It's good to have you out here on the 5th Avenue Mile.
Thank you so much for having me.
I wanted to talk about your book first of all, Running for My Life. I devoured this book and your story is amazing. How did the book come about, the writing of the book?
Yeah, thank you so much. The book basically is like, it's a reflection of my journey. The wars in Sudan and how I ran to the refugee camp, and basically a transformation of my life and how I became to be, to actually do the running and do everything that I wanted to do, with joy, and because I know that God protected me so much, so that I can be able to tell the story in a bigger way and help many other kids who are still running for their lives.
The book really takes off with the beginning of your story in that first chapter, Taken. I mean, taken, exclamation point. Can you describe a little bit of that experience? Do you remember the experience of being taken from the church?
It was chaotic, it was just like, a beautiful church in the morning. I ended up to be a chaotic place. I thought like as we know, like in Africa, we normally go out and we celebrate, we dance, and we do all those kind of things. Like we just worship, the God, and we thought like it's one of the protective place, one of the peaceful place to hang out and really see everybody else from other villages and like that. Everybody come together, and we thought it's a place of peace, and all of a sudden it was a place of chaos and a lot of everybody running for their lives and ducking and everything like that. And I was basically left out there, was ripped from my mom's arms, and to be taken to be a South soldier, and like I keep on asking myself, why me? And so that's why it's become Taken, because like that's the moment I realized that I'm no longer a kid anymore. I became a boy and a dad, and everybody. Basically, I grew up from 6 years old to be able to take care of myself, and because I don't have any people, my mom, my parents, to be there with me to provide any comfort and parental comfort.
Do you ever have any fear of going back to a church? Does it ever crop up any feelings?
No, well, right now it's like, I still cherish church so much because it brings me back to how God is an amazing God. He does other things for the better of something else. And so when I was taken, basically it was another opportunity to be like, okay, now we're gonna test you. We're gonna test you how resilient you are and how you can be able to keep God in your heart and to walk with the God and let God protect you. Although it's not there, but it's around you. It's with the people I escaped with, my angels. That's what those are the things I said, these are my angels because I don't know their names, but it was angels that were sent from God to protect me the whole time, to bring me all the way to refugee camp. And I go to church. Church is my home. It's a place that I can be able to reflect my journey and say, it was this place that I have this opportunity, and it was this place I can be able to run with joy. It's no longer running away from the bullets and people want to hurt me. So it's a fantastic place to be.
You mentioned that the three angels is a big part of your escaping from the rebel camp. Can you talk a little bit about them?
Oh, absolutely. These are the three individuals which they never told me their names. When we were in this prison camp and we were sitting there, kids are dying and kids are crying, including myself, and I was just really lonely and in a dark place. And all of a sudden I see these boys across from the other side of the room, basically it's a little hut, and they call me, hey, Lopepe, are you, is your brother Abraham here? And I was like, I didn't want to talk to anybody because they are all strangers. It's like that, and they tell us, it's okay, come with us, you'll be fine. If you stay with us, you'll be fine. So these are the things like, it brought me like, I didn't know them when we were in the truck, when we were taken. And
Right.
so this is, again, like, it united to me that how important it is that God did amazing things, to have these three angels who always protected me. And that from that moment, they were the only one who were told to go out and train in the barracks. And they saw this hole on the fence, and that's what they came up to me with the one word: Lopez, we are going to see your mom again. And it was just incredible to hear that. And I didn't know how they're gonna do it, but they knew the way. And at night, they basically rescued me. They brought me all the way to that hole on the fence, and that was my race and my sport.
You draw upon biblical references. A number of places in the book, you mentioned the hole and how it relates to going through the eye of the needle. Did these sort of phrases carry you on in life?
It really empowered me. It really empowered me so much because our lives are all like being built around the biblical. Because when, again, Joseph, my name is Joseph too. When Joseph was taken, and basically he was taken to be a slave, and then all of a sudden he came back and rescued his people.
You're referring to the Old Testament Joseph.
Exactly. So the thing is like, it was very hard, even to go to look at that hole in the fence, how we even made it through, and we all made it through without no scratches, and nobody saw us like we are escaping. It was so dark that it was an umbrella or a protection from God. Was like it's trying to protect us, to not to be seen, because they wanted us to be able to go out and tell the story of the wars that was going on, and the brutality that the children at 6 years old and 10-year-old kids have to endure away from their family, and just to be able to go and to fight, And again, for me, I was 6 years old. I was too short and too weak to carry AK-47. AK-47 was taller than me, but the heart that I was given, the heart that was just something that I was like, okay, at the end of the day, I'll be okay. It was just a powerful thing from God and everybody else, everybody else. So great.
Take us from the hole in the fence to Kakuma and the Lost Boys camp.
Yeah, so once we escaped through that hole in the fence, it was just a run of like, hey, your legs have to save you. And I was running, it seems like I wasn't even running. I wasn't feeling the ground. I was running with my bare foot, and I was just basically running with my toes. These two boys were just like dragging me along. I'm running and running. It seemed like somebody's chasing us. Through this hood, the forest and all these things, short trees were like really, puncturing our foot and everything else. And it was just like a run of like, I have to run. I have to win this. I have to win this race. It's a race of like life or death, And so we ran and ran. I thought we were bleeding everywhere, but like, it was just like a powerful thing that these boys kept on telling me. Hey, it's okay, you can do it, you can do it. And when I was really completely tired, they carried me on their back, maybe like, again, 14 years old to 6 years old, like I became basically I was abandoned to them, but they never give up on me. They just like, at the end of the day, we're gonna go home. And every time I hear them.
These are the three angels.
Exactly. Every time I hear them, they say, you see those hills in the background? That's where our family is. That's what your family is. Like from that point, I have this courage and this like energy without food or something like that. I'm like, I gotta run through that. I gotta go see. At the end of the day, maybe in the afternoon, I will go see my parents. Maybe in the evening, I will see my parents. Maybe in the morning, I will see my parents. They encouraged me, but we didn't know where we were going. But we ran completely opposite direction, and that's when we came to be arrested by the border guards. And and they questioned us. We only knew our own language, our ethnic languages, and they said like, okay, you know what? Let's take them to the refugee camp, the Kakuma refugee camp, where everybody, all the Sudanese were there, and that's when I went in and I saw many other more lost boys were there, and we basically started our lives, and after 10 years, and out there. But my angels, they brought me there for 3 weeks, and then one day they just disappeared completely. I don't know where they went.
Oh, wow.
And I never knew their names, and that's why I still, every time I go to Africa, I just keep tell them like, can somebody just come out and say I rescued Lopez Lomong?
Yeah.
And so that
to this day you have it.
Exactly. Until today, I'm still searching for my angels, because I wish, once I reunited with them, I owe everything to them, and I'll probably write another book and say, put their names there. They carry me, they empower me, they encourage me, they become my mom, my dad, and they become my uncle, they become my brothers, everything. Like, they just like, because like every time they tell me something, it's like, yes. They call me, I never called me, they were just commanding everything that is good for, like they always wanted to keep me with them the whole time. 2 of them have to stay with me the whole time, while the other one is going to fetch the water in the river, and they alternate. 2 of them have to like watch me the whole time. So they just become like people who absolutely care for me. So
nice. Do you feel like those experiences early on solidified you becoming a man of God?
Oh, I think it's very important to realize that how God put us here temporarily, on the earth, because we are all there to have a purpose in life. That all our days are counted, and our days are counted in how much impact we can be able to give to other people. And so I learned so much from my 3 angels, that I can be able to, like everybody else, I want to be an angel for one person. We want to be an angel for other people around us, or our neighbors and our family members, and things like that. We need to be able to go out and rescue people, and so I think it's very, very important. It's a great lesson that we all need to be able to be our brother keeper, and we all take care of each other. And so that's what I learned.
So this camp, you had an 18-mile loop. Is that one of the founding parts of your running? Did that sort of ingrain running?
Well, I wish I could have knew that it was some kind of like very, very important that I will be able to incorporate with my running, because I was running away from a hunger. I was trying to distract myself from not thinking about, can I go reduce that ration, like by going and get that corn, and so that I can eat it and to fill my stomach. My growling stomach, who's always want to eat.
And you guys had to hide your food.
So we have to hide our food, because other boys will come and steal the food. So the thing is, like, we're just running to distract ourselves from running. 30 kilometers, and 18 miles, and we just run, and then at the end of the day, we have another reward, which is we wanted to go play soccer. That was another thing to be able to, like, we are thinking, the faster you run these 30 kilometers, the quicker you can be able to be on a soccer pitch to be able to go play with the other people.
What an interesting mindset, to run 30 kilometers and the reward is to go play soccer. Be a heck of a soccer game. So
it kept us even together, because he brought us as like a family, because it's something like we all learn to do together. It's something like we encourage each other to be strong. Although malaria or diseases can take other kids away, but we are all, that bonding that we had is like a family. Everybody's taking care of each other. So, yeah.
So take us, if you can, to the meeting of the farmer and the eventual watching on television of Michael Johnson.
My father was a farmer, and me seeing the cow was just incredible thing. It bring me to my village in South Sudan, and so I went out to them and said, can I just help you and feed your cow and things like that, and it was like, yeah, no problem. It was just so vivid. I can see our cows back home, in my dream, by taking care of this cow. And this guy one day just came out and pulled the 5 shillings in his pocket and give it to me. So I kept it, and Olympic came in. A lot of boys were like talking about Olympics and Olympics and Olympics.
And you didn't know what it was at the time?
I didn't know what it was because, again, we didn't have a Twitter or Facebook and, or anything like social media in a camp, but somehow the story, everything, the current event keep on like circulating. Everybody know about what's going on. And
One
Olympics.
boy hears it, and then
Exactly,
it's just...
and it was Olympics, and all the boys were like, "Oh, we need to go walk all the way to this, this rich man farm, and then, we have a TV, we can watch Olympics." Again, you don't want to be left on where you can see the food. You know that the food is there,
Right.
so you have to go out and distract yourself, your mind. And we walked to this rich man, and we knocked at the door, and he was charging us 5 shillings. And I pulled up in my pocket. I was like, "Oh, this is a 5 shilling I was supposed to be keeping for my brothers and to change food." And I pulled that, and since we already walked 5 miles anyway, and I was so dirty and everything, and he told me that, "Hey, you need to sit on the ground," because he didn't want me to sit on a sofa.
Right.
So I sat on the ground close to this TV. TV is very small, black and white, operated by a car battery. With, the first time I saw TV in my life, and what was playing was, we thought we were gonna go watch soccer on the TV, but it was 400 meters first, and that's when I saw Michael Johnson, run that 400, an amazing 400. Which people are cheering, people are just like so happy, and just like that, and I won the race, and I saw the tear came to his eyes, and I was like, why did he cry? And kept on, because it's a grown up. In Africa, grown up people or men don't cry,
Right.
to show their emotions. It's like that, and which I realized that like he was running for something bigger than himself. So from that point, I was dreaming. I want to run as fast as Michael Johnson. I want to run so fast for that country one day. And I knew that there is another world outside this camp. Outside, like another flag flying very, very high, somewhere inside this, no man's land, which is a camp. And so we never see any flags and like that. So we just, I was dreaming so much. Even my 30 kilometers, it became even, they went faster and faster as I grew.
Oh, wow.
And just like that. And, I was 15 years old when I saw, it was 2000, I was 15 years old, like I started running very fast because every time there is that message, that was the image of Michael Johnson running and in my head, like I just keep on going faster and faster and faster. And in 2001, I got an opportunity to write my essay to be resettled in the United States, and that my dream of running for this country became completely, I was like, oh, that's the country that guy ran for. And 16 years old, I went to my coach and said, I want to go to Olympics. And that was my dream. That was something like, again, I put on way high, that I can be able to work very, very hard to be able to run for the United States in the Olympics. I didn't know how I'm going to do it. I was just a 10th grade kid, boy who dreamed big, I guess. So.
Let's talk about your baptism and the giving of the name Joseph.
Yes. Yeah, so in the camp, again, as we already saw, we cannot talk about the baptism one without not talking about the chicken, because we eat chicken twice a year, and which is Christmas and Easter. That was the most important days of anybody's life. And so on Christmas, all the boys were like, we be baptized. And basically like from that moment, you carry the cross and you follow Jesus. You follow Jesus, and although we didn't have any Bible, with us and be able to learn everything, we listened through the songs, through the teachings, things like that. And it was my time, because I went to the catechist, and we did all the, everything else, and we sing all these songs, and you have to be like good with everybody, and keep the 10 Commandments, all these things. So that, and then I passed my class, and it was my time to be able to pick up that cross and follow Jesus. And so I was baptized, and all the priests, all the boys were out here, with all our candles, so like my like the whole, in the distance, because the priest started that way, and it was coming in. I can see the boys were like, kind of illuminated with their face, and giving their name, and they came to me. They said, I baptize you. Basically called me first and said, Joseph, your name is Joseph. I baptize you in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. And he poured the water, and then he basically put something in the thing, and I received the Holy Communion for the first time. So the thing is, like, it was just so powerful. Like, from that moment, I used to be called a Pepe. Now I'm Joseph. Now I like completely came out of that beautiful church. You know, that I am a different person with a different name. And so that's when I didn't know, I didn't choose the name, but from that point, I became Joseph.
Your foundation for South Sudan, tell us a little bit about that.
For South Sudan, basically it's 4 things for South Sudan, and which is clean water. You know, we focus on clean water because there is a lot of death going on. You know, people go out to the river and fetch the water. They think that it's clean, but it's all contaminated. And sometimes they kill them. And education is very, very, very important because we got to educate the people. We got to educate the young generation to come. Not only young generation, but also like, women, men, and to be able to empower them in like vocational training, because that's all part of education. And healthcare, we need to be able to bring some medicine into that and help them, to be able to fight with fight other diseases like malaria and things like that, because they're one of the #1 killer in Africa, especially in our village. And nutrition, because we need to teach people on how to cultivate, how to produce more food. So the thing is, like, we cannot like go fish for people all the time. We need to go teach them. And give them knowledge. If you're a teacher, please come over and say, I would like to help teach. If you're a farmer, if you're like, carpenter, if you are like anybody, just come over. We all team together. And we go out and help that country as much, because we need a lot of help.
How do we find out more information on it?
So you go to forsouthsudan.org, and the website. We can be able to get more information there, and you can email me at lopezlomongfoundation.com, and we can go forward with that. So far, a lot of people have been helpful so much, and donated a lot of money, and we are drilling wells right now, and we're doing everything we can.
You're rebuilding a church, I heard, in Kimatang.
The reason why I'm trying to rebuild that church is like I want to rebuild the church I was taken away from, and it's to be able to tell the people, like, it doesn't matter if you're taken, or it doesn't matter if you went through a lot of hardship. There is a hope at the end of the day, and basically, like, the church is gonna be a multi-purpose hall. It's gonna be called a hope center. It's gonna be church. Everybody's gonna use it. So we're still, doing everything we can to be able to raise enough money to build that. We're still praying, and I know angels will come in and come back and help us. And it's very, very important to realize that, like, the people are very, very powerful. Good people. Once we invest in education, we're gonna change the whole that. We have to get it in from the center, basically center out. Like, go into the heart of what is going on. Food security is very important. Water, because a lot of people are fighting because of the water, clean water. So if we bring in the clean water to all these other villages, something like that, you're gonna minimize the fighting. You're gonna bring people together and work together, and I can just go out and have the money and go drill the hole by myself. I bring the community in and say, let's do it together. I cannot put that nail on 2x4s by myself. I could bring other people and say, hey, listen, let's go do it. Let's go do it together, because from that moment, they realize how important it is to own something because you build it. They became theirs. And so it's just a transformation of like changing people one person at a time. How important it is to, like, hey, listen, it's not about that. It's about this. It's about building ourselves up together. So I think it's very, very important to be able to emphasize that, because sometimes in Africa, like, there is just a lot of confusion that's going on and things like that, but people did not realize how important it is to work together.
Lopez Lomong, thank you so much for meeting me today, and good luck with the race.
Thank you very much. A pleasure meeting you. Thanks. God bless. out here and the shoe go lots of living for I started that season. So
Nice.
yeah.